Welcome everyone. This is my build, which I call Frogmageddon. This build is basically based of or inspired from PoE 1 when I used to play Bane. Was one of my favorite builds or favorite skills because I like to play damage over time, right? And I've always wanted to have like Bane in PoE 2, but never appeared. So I was like, wait, is there a way to create the Bane? And I didn't league started as I started as Contagion SS Drain, and then around level 31, I switched over to Curses using Despair as my main DPS skill. Don't mind these; I don't you really use SS Drain or Contagion anymore. They're just on the bar, but my main DPS is mainly Despair and Incinerate. And how do I enable this to work? Well, we can see, look here. I'm using Impending Doom. That's one of the skills that basically, as long as the target is cursed and it dies, or the curse expires, it will explode. But the dot, where's the dot aspect? Yeah, it's here in the Decaying Hex. It doesn't do way too much damage, but it's still doing enough damage for it to be like the clear maps. I'm doing 14s and 15s, and I'm not doing it with ease. Not a big of a problem, really. But the thing that really enables the build is this Deodri's Undoing. Because they're chaos. And what it does is that it's from a curse, it spawns frogs. And they will spawn pretty much constantly as long as you're spamming the skill. And with the way I've set up my gems, you will have spell cascade. So you will not only have one curse coming up, you will have 3 curses coming up. So how I'll put it up is Impending Doom, Spell Cascade, Decaying Hex, Deodri's Undoing, and I'm using Extraction. Because I was experimenting with it. Like, sure, it's going to increase the mana cost of the actual Despair, but it does increase the damage from the actual explosions and the actual frogs itself, from what I've noticed at least. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, if you don't really want to use Extraction and you want to have a lower mana cost, you can then actually use the efficiency gem instead. So where there we go, efficiency. So what the efficiency gem does, you have 40% less. Super skills have 40% less cost. So it will go from costing me 353 mana to 212. It's pretty chill, and the gem itself is a level 19 gem. But I'm using Extraction for the increased damage onto it. And how it looks, this is basically how it looks. It's a pretty funny skill. As you can see, as long as you're spamming it, there's going to be frogs all over the map. And these run into targets and they explode. That's what they do. I'm also using Incinerate. But this is mainly for bosses. I don't have the last slot yet. I haven't got another perfect jewel orb. So I'm going to get that sooner or later, but I would also use Extraction into it. The reason why I'm using Incinerate and how I'm turning it into Chaos, that is because I'm using this node over here. Black Flame Covenant. Fire spells convert 1% of the fire damage to chaos damage. Chaos damage from fire spells contributes to flammability and ignite magnitude. Ignite inflicted with fire spells deal chaos damage instead of fire damage. The text is there, so you can pretty much read it. But that's how I'm turning this flame from a normal fire into a chaos one, which then applies damage over time. That's my way of playing. I love playing damage over time, and that's how I'm doing it, basically. So these are your 2 main skills. And as for the spirit ones, the only reason why I'm running like this is because, as you can see, I have 150 spirit. I thought, all right, is there a way for me to kind of improve the clearing when I'm doing the mapping? And I'm using Blasphemy. As everyone knows, you can, as long as you put in a curse into it, it will make it like an aura. So I'm using Repulsion. At the beginning, I was using the one that slows, which is called Temporal Chains. I was using Temporal Chains first, but then when I swapped over to this one, Repulsion, from what I noticed is that it explodes, and it explodes a lot, and it pushes the targets back. But the thing that the good thing with the Repulsion Wave is that it does deals physical, but with the amount of targets getting hit, they just keep exploding. So it's like it just keeps cascading all over the place. I will be showing a run later on once I've gone through the gear, what I've gotten so far. I'm also using the Remnants of Calgar. The runic ward that we get from it, yeah, well, it's not really that important. What's the reason for why I'm using this one is that when you kill a target, it spawns a remnant. And with the remnant on the floor, it works really well with explosive transmutation. So what the remnant does is basically, so I'm using clarity for the mana region on it. Then I'm also using remnant potency. And I'm also using mysticism for more damage while you have full energy shield. And the harmonic remnants. 20% chance is for a skill to create an additional remnant. And that is really good, mainly because as long as you have more remnants, that means more explosions. And the reason being is because explosive transmutation, excuse me for the is that there anyways, is I'm using spell cascade on it. So since I'm using spell cascade, it's gonna do a little bit less damage, but there's gonna be way more explosions when it triggers. Efficiency. Don't ask me really why I have this one, but from what I've noticed, I looked at some other people that was using the skill, and I saw that a lot of them used efficiency on it, so I put it in. It's been working so far. Can't really say much else than that. And then magnified area, because you want to have a bigger AoE with it. And then I'm using practical magic, so gain 4% increased spell damage for 8 seconds on heavy stunning an enemy with supported skills. It does deal some heavy stunts. And this explosive transmutation, even though I'm fully chaos based, like chaos damage based, it does physical, cold, fire, lightning, and chaos explosions. And from what I'm telling you here, the reason why I'm saying I'm fully chaos based is like I've taken most chaos nodes. I have taken nodes all the way to Spiral Insanity, Lingering Horror, Void, all the way to Dark Entities, and Pure Chaos. Because the explosions that they're doing can actually gain from the gain damage as extra chaos damage. As you know, damage over time effects do not gain anything from the gain extra percent damage. It just doesn't. But since this is more like a direct hit and explosions, it does gain from it. I've also gotten some points into energy shields, and I usually play energy shields. That's what I feel the most comfortable with. You might be playing in a different way. Maybe you play a hybrid. Maybe you're playing armor. It really depends on how you're playing it. That's up to you. But I've taken most energy nodes here. I've gotten the entropy here. I've gotten most spell damage once, as well as I've gotten the potent incantation. I've gone all the way down to ruin because it's an area effect or an AoE attack, so you gain more spell damage onto it. I also got in Whispers of Doom, and all the way to Patient Barrier, Enhanced Barrier. So yeah, but what I will be doing now is that I'll be showing you guys a normal run that I usually do when I'm playing a map. I'll just do a 14 map. Might not be the most juiced, still early in the actual league, but yeah, I might be diverting to another build because I've just gotten myself a liminal coil, so I'm gonna make a build about that later on as well. But yeah, this is just gonna be a run now with the Frogmageddon build, which I call it. So I've been focusing on doing rituals. Clear on this one is not an issue at all. Boss damage, I would say, yeah, it's probably not the highest boss damage build, but it gets the job done. Let's just clear this map, and you will see. Right. Oh wait. As you can see, you're pretty much destroying packs pretty easily here because everyone is exploding because they're all cursed, they're getting pushed around. It's a little bit of a mana starve. I've also forgot to mention that I've gotten a node in the tree that gives you mana back on kill. And which one I'm talking about? It's this one here. I've gotten the efficient killing, so increased mana regen, you get recover 2% of your mana on kill, recover 1% mana on kill, and then recover 1% mana. And what I've noticed, this works well. And as long as you have a mana potion that gives you a very good amount of mana back, you should be fine. Alright, this is already where the boss is at, but I'm not going there yet. And if you don't want to look at the rest of the clear, and you just want to skip ahead and look at the boss damage, then just skip ahead a little bit in the video. And what I've noticed with this build as well is that it works really pretty well with the Breach. It also works pretty well with Ritual. As long as you can tank most of the stuff, because all of these small explosions that you can see, the remnants, whenever they spawn, as long as you're close, they will explode and they will cascade, because I have spell Cascade on it. This is pretty much, I think, the second build that I have made. I made another build in the previous seasons when I played basically Essence Drain Contagion, but people already had videos out on it, so I didn't bother posting them because they were pretty much the same, so it would just be a copy pasta. As you can see, clear-wise, it gets the job done. Is it an expensive one? No. It's a fairly cheap league starter. As long as you have the Ultras Undoing. Even before I got it, I was clearing pretty well, but the Ultras Undoing just enabled the build even more. And one of the items that are pretty essential, and I'll be showing you guys that after, we'll go through the gear after this. Okay, there we go. We'll just move on to the next one. It's really satisfying with this build though, because it is basically destroying most of the packs pretty much instantly. You just have to be a bit careful depending on how you're building your defenses. Oh, proximal tangibility. We love these guys. Oh, there we are. Okay. The last one is at the boss room. As you can see, boss-wise, the damage is not too bad. If you really want to, like, get the burns going, you can use the Incinerate, and then you can go back to doing the frogs again. I managed to kill the Arbiter of Ash with this one. I haven't really struggled too much. And the best part is you can stand on max distance. So this is what my build so far is able to do. Let's just do this last ritual and take a look at what we get. All right, now let's see how this is gonna fare against the 3 bosses at the same time. I need to get rid of that guy first, though, because he's the annoying one here. Yeah, I need to get rid of you, dude. There you go. Oh, it's only you two left. And as I said earlier, it doesn't have the biggest boss damage, but it gets the job done. And is it a fun build to play? Yeah, definitely is. There we go. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna take this. Mark it that. Oh, just all right. Now let's head back, and I will show you the actual gear. The thing that actually enables the gear to be able to be played like that, as you know, curses usually take some time to get activated. So windscreen feathered sandals are the boots that enables your curse to activate without any actual delay. So this one is what enables the build to perform like this and why you can spam your curses over and over again. The rest of the gear is pretty much not that special, but this is at least one thing that is essential for the build. And that's for my wand. I've gotten plus levels to chaos. I got a spell damage and chaos damage. I've gotten an offhand with plus level to skills and chaos damage, of course. That's pretty much it. But this is the most important one. Make sure that you have the feather sandals. And yeah, guys, that's the build. I hope you guys have fun trying it out. And if you have any questions, I'll try to respond in the comments. I'm gonna try to make another build with the luminol coil now. As I said before, this is my first build. So yeah, have a good time, or actually have a good time trying it. And hopefully you guys have a fun time.